All right, what we're about to talk about today is a possible connection between Erika Kirk, or should I say Erika Frantzve, because this is back in 2017, and Jeffrey Epstein. Let's go.
She stayed at the Hotel Plaza Athene. It's an interesting hotel. Never have enough amazing things to say about this hotel. Rooms were pristine and extremely clean. Staff was amazing, very attentive. Our room had an incredible balcony. Concierge was extremely helpful when it came to making reservations. The Athene is the place to stay in Paris. Well, I'd say so.
And the first thing I have to say is this is Baron Coleman. I have a new respect for Baron Coleman. His live streams are so meticulous. There's one live stream in particular, this one right here, that we're going to cover. So shout out to Baron Coleman. His channel is in the description. If you're not already subscribed to Baron Coleman, subscribe to his channel. This man is the most meticulous human I ever seen in my life. So we're just going to go down this rabbit hole with Baron Coleman, and this is going to blow your mind. And I ran across so much information where I got to do a part 2 and a part 3, because some of this that I uncovered has something to do with art and money laundering and the transportation of blank through art. But that's going to be a different, it's so much. So that's going to be part 2. So subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And everybody, drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. And of course, hit the thumbs up button. Let's go.
Because it also starts at about $3,000 a night. Again, she was in her late 20s.
So just in case there's a new person that has no idea who all these people are, Erika Kirk is in Paris, and she's documenting her trip to Paris, and she's spending time at this very expensive hotel. And it's like $3,000 a night, and the hotel room she's at is $5,000 per night because her hotel has a balcony, and she's in her mid to late 20s at the time in 2017. Y'all can do the math. How old was Erika Kirk in 2017? And if you've been following this story, Erika Kirk doesn't have a job. Erika Kirk never had a job. Like, she just bounces from one thing to another. One day or 1 month, she's in Japan, another or Korea, and another time she's in New York, and another time she's in Romania with a Romanian Angels ministry. So she can't or doesn't want to keep one particular job. Then she's doing real estate. So, and then she's like this model or model management. She works for this model management company. So how do you have money to be able to go to Paris, 1, and 2, stay at a $5,000, not $3,000, $5,000 a night hotel that Jeffrey Epstein frequents also? So just giving y'all an understanding, because it's so many details. I don't want anybody to get confused or lost. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you're at, and hit the thumbs up button.
She stayed at the Hotel Plaza Athene. It's an interesting hotel. Never have enough amazing things to say about this hotel. Rooms were pristine and extremely clean. Staff was amazing, very attentive. Our room had an incredible balcony. Concierge was extremely helpful when it came to making reservations. The Athene is the place to stay in Paris. Well, I'd say so, because it also starts at about $3,000 a night. Again, she was in her late 20s. That's a very expensive vacation, even if you're only there for 1 night. That's like roughly the amount the average American makes in a month.
And I believe she was there by herself. That's another thing, I think.
Before taxes. Staying at the Hotel Plaza Athene. And it appears she was there for multiple nights, because she was doing reviews in March and doing reviews in April. So
Yeah, I think she was at this hotel for like 4 days altogether. 5,000, not 3,000 a night, because her hotel had a balcony, which was the $5,000 hotel, a night hotel.
Here she was there for multiple nights. It's a beautiful hotel, by the way. Look at this. Very nicely done in the Hotel Athénée. Well, where does Jeffrey like to stay when he goes to Paris? Anybody want to take a guess? Anybody want to know where Jeffrey stays when he goes to Paris? I'll give you a hint.
This is crazy.
It's the Hotel Athénée. That's exactly right. He also likes to meet people there anywhere you want. Plaza Athénée at 215. That is the hotel there. We scroll down a little bit. Depends on meeting at 14th at Plaza Athénée with so-and-so. Redacted. We scroll down a little bit more and we find, can you both meet me at the Plaza Athénée at 5?
So this is the Epstein files. Just for the record, this is directly from the Epstein files now. So keep that in mind. Erika Kirk is not her name is not in the Epstein files, but her location is in the Epstein files. Matched with the date.
So this is over about a 4-year window when he is traveling to Paris. He likes to stay at the Hotel Athénée. A little birdie this is me. You were at the Plaza Athénée bar. You still out? Meaning I am at the Plaza Athénée bar. It can be there in mere moments.
Right.
This is several years ago. I just woke up. Yes, we can meet. Why don't you meet me in front of the Hotel Plaza Athénée at 3:30? It's anyway. Someone asking Jeffrey, where are you? I was going to walk to the Plaza Athénée. Are you nearby the apartment or would you like to meet there? So
as you can see, like everybody knows about this hotel. It's extremely popular in Epstein's circles. It's not just Epstein going there. Everybody goes there to meet Epstein. Just keep that in mind. It's a thing that Epstein does when he goes to Paris. It's the Hotel Athénée, and they have tea at the Hotel Athénée. Keep that in mind. It's a normal thing that he does this.
That is a known meeting spot. This is from someone named William. Dear so-and-so, can you see if Jeffrey is available for more furniture visiting on Wednesday afternoon or Thursday anytime? I just ran into him at the Plaza Athénée bar. Again, confirmation, this is where he hangs out. He hangs out at the Ritz for tea time many times over several years. He hangs out at the Plaza Athénée many times over several years. This is a fixture for him. Also happens to be only.
And let me just give y'all a connection, early, just something to put you in the understanding of why this has something to do with Erika Kirk. So there's a possibility, because I don't want to get sued. Erika Kirk is running around trying to sue people, even though she can't really sue anybody because nobody's really lying. So there's a possibility that Erika Kirk worked for either Epstein or Epstein's brother, or the company Epstein's brother actually was running, which is a New York-based company, a modeling agency called Next Model Management between 2015 and 2017. And just with the research I've done, this company is connected to not only Epstein, but Epstein's brother and a woman named Faith Jones. So this is how Erika Kirk is connected to this whole situation, because some people may say, okay, why in the world would Erika Kirk go to Paris and have tea with Epstein? Why? Well, this is possibly a meeting place for business or pleasure. And you know what the pleasure looks like when it comes to Epstein. So there is an assumed or an alleged connection where, if you know anything about Erika Kirk's past, or Erika Frantzve's past before she got with Charlie Kirk, there was Romanian Angels in Romania, and then she went to either China or Japan, one of those, and then she opened up an orphanage over there or some type of ministry over there. So there is easy understanding of how this woman, Erika Kirk, has orphanages or the want or the love for orphanages or orphans, right? So you have her with tadpoles over here in her past, recent past. You know, we're talking about 2015, 2017, not 2026. And then she's hanging out in Paris, allegedly with Epstein. So tadpoles, Epstein. Orphanage, Epstein. So that's the connection, just to make sure everybody stays on the same page. Hit a like button, hit a like button, hit a like button, hit the like button, and share this video. This probably is the most important information that has come out thus far because it's putting Erika Kirk specifically at the same place Epstein is.
Like the two places she reviewed that are in hotels. I think it's an interesting set of coincidences. I would not look at this and say, this is definitive proof that they traveled to Paris together or that they traveled to Paris to meet. I would never claim that. I think that would be reckless. But I would say, I think I would want to answer that if these facts were out there. If I only reviewed a few places in Paris and only two of them being in hotels, and both of them are places Jeffrey likes to frequent when he's in town, either stay at or particularly tea time at the Ritz, I'm telling you guys, end of the show.
So before we keep moving, somebody in the chat, I was having a conversation with somebody in the chat. Shout out to Olivia. She said, I tend to think Erika is or was being blanked in order to be the next Ghislaine Maxwell. And if you look further into Jared Kushner, it's almost like he's the one to take over solely as Epstein if he dies, right? So Jared Kushner looks like the next Epstein. And I said this in the past also. And this is what I said to her. I replied to her by saying this. I think Erika aspired, not was, I don't like to use the G word, GRROM. I don't think it's that. I think Erika Kirk aspired to be the next Ghislaine Maxwell. I think this is what her goal in life was. But at some point, she met Charlie Kirk or was introduced to Charlie Kirk, and she was like, oh, okay, I'll do this instead. And she became this God-fearing, Jesus, the Lord, and all this other stuff. But at first, I think her aspiration was to be the next Ghislaine Maxwell. And this is just my opinion. And Olivia says, aside from IHOP, do you think Charlie knew more about the dark side of even being a part of Turning Point USA's shadiness? Yes. I think Charlie Kirk was the shadiness of, okay, put it like this, and we're going to get back to the conversation. But let me show you this. Do I have it? Yes, right here. Let me show you this. So okay, remove this. So I want to show you guys this. And we're talking about Erika Kirk, of course. Okay, so this is Turning Point USA's tax returns. So in 2016, 2017, 2018, they made $10 million, which is a lot of money, right? 2018, $10 million. So Erika Kirk met Charlie Kirk in 2019. So I want to put all this together. Now, at this particular point, let's just assume, okay, because none of us wants to get sued. Say, I don't want to get sued in the chat. Type, I don't want to get sued in the chat. If you don't want to get sued, put, I don't want to get sued in the chat. So before 2019, remember, we're looking at 2015 to 2017 with Erika Kirk allegedly being somewhere in the vicinity or in the same hotel as Epstein, right? 2015 to 2017, right? So she has this background of working with people in order to make money in some type of way. And, you know, a lot of people have said that recording of Erika Kirk wasn't Erika Kirk. So cool. I believe it's her, but we can move on from that, right? So what if Erika Kirk was for a few years recruiting humans, people, I don't want to say anything crazy, tadpoles, not saying she has or is or was, but what if, let's look at this as a fictitious story. What if Erika Kirk was recruiting tadpoles for Epstein, right? 2015 to 2017. What if? We're just telling a story. And she has the ability to launder money or use art, adding another part to this, another aspect to this. What if she found out a way to sell other things and label the other things as art, right? She figured this whole thing out. Just working with Epstein, right? This is a story. I'm just making this up. And next thing you know, she takes this talent of hers and then she meets Charlie Kirk and then she introduces Charlie Kirk to this scheme of how to use art or the name of art and launder money through the name of art. And the name of art is what I'm saying is, say you owe me $40,000, right? And instead of giving me $40,000, I have a piece of art that is worth $10. But I go to an art museum or art, art thing, whatever you call it, an art show, right? So I'm at the art show, and then you randomly come to the art show, and I randomly charge, I say this art is going for $40,000, knowing nobody's going to buy it because it's only worth $10. I just, my daughter freaking drew it, right? Next thing you know, you walk up to me and say, hey, an art gallery, thank you. Hey, I would like to buy that art for $40,000. And you say, oh, okay. Hey, stranger, thank you for buying my art for $40,000. And then boom, you just gave me back my money. You just put money in my pocket that you owe me without having to go through normal, situations, right? So keep that in mind. In this story that I'm making up that is not real, there's a possibility that she learned a way to circumvent the government knowing exactly what is being transported, whether it's tadpoles, whether it's weapons, because you got to remember, Erika Kirk's mom, Lori Frantzve, has a lot to do with IHOP is not real. for those who don't know what IHOP is, and weapon stuff, right? The Iron Dome, things like that, right? So what if she gets with Charlie Kirk, and let's look at the numbers right here. In 2018, he made $10 million, but 2019, they made $28 million. So this is my point. The year she was around Epstein, allegedly, in 2017, and then she learns, or furniture, art, Wayfair, furniture, art. Y'all are understanding what I'm saying. Yes. You name the thing that you're transporting, furniture. You name the thing that you're transporting, art. And now you're able to transport the art in a container, shipping container. And since it's art or since it's furniture, nobody is going to check it. And it may be able to get through customs without being checked. Okay. So looking at these tax forms, Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA made $10 million in 2018. A lot of money. But Erika Kirk, with her new knowledge and her mom's new knowledge, she gets with Charlie Kirk and instantly makes Turning Point USA $10 more million. Like, let me go from $10 million to $28 million. Like, that's $18 million. I'm sorry. Like, what? Like, but it gets crazier. He goes from $10 million to $28 million, and it goes farther. Watch this. That's 2019. 2020, he goes to $39 million. So you go from $10 million before Erika Kirk, and after Erika Kirk, you go to $28 million. And then a year later, you go to $39 million. And then, watch this. $2021, you go from $29 million to $55 million. Now, a lot of you may say, well, you know what they say? The man who finds a wife finds a good thing. He got a wife, and she inspired him to go harder, to make more money. It could be that. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. No, I don't think so. Because in this situation, he who finds a wife finds a good thing, but then ends up dying. So I don't want to find a wife and find a good thing and make a whole lot of money and end up dead. So no. I don't want to go through that. That's something I don't want to go through. So $55 million. And I want you to think about this. How in the world can Erika Frantzve just come into this man's life and in less than 3 years or less than 4 years make her husband $55 million? This is extremely deep. All right, so let's keep going. $2020, now 2022, $80 million. 80? You go from 50 to 80? Or should I say you go from 10 280? How, Sway? How? You're now at $80 million in 1 year. This is what I'm talking about. There is something way bigger than just, hey, I want to go to schools and argue with goofy ass kids about dumb shit. No, that is not happening. You cannot make this much money and you're not even doing anything. Even if it was donors, why the hell are donors giving you this much money to argue with random ass kids at a college? No, absolutely not. All right. So we can go a little farther. 81 in 2023. 84 in 2024. All right. So y'all get what I'm saying, right? Erika Kirk comes into Charlie Kirk's life, pushes Candace out the way. Candace's words, not mine. And next thing you know, makes this man $80 million within a 4-year period. Well, let's say $70 million because he made $10 million on his own. All right. So now we have that connection. Now let's go back to Baron Coleman. Shout out to Baron Coleman.
Show you a lot of documents tonight. We've done our best to edit out any personally identifiable information.
Crazy.
It's my belief that these documents conform perfectly to the Google Terms of Service. Anyone that has an issue with what we show today, the proper response is not to complain or report or anything like that. Blame.
And I want to say this. Baron Coleman, because I watched his show last night, Baron Coleman is going through a lot. You might see Baron with 20, 25,000 live viewers, but according to what he said last night, he's going through a lot of people or a lot of entities or one or two entities are trying to shut him down. So when you see somebody getting all the views and all this other stuff, you're like, oh my God, I wish I was them. Well, you never know what that particular person may be going through in the background. He seemed to be like right at the end of his show last night, he seemed to be really frustrated. Like he was getting a lot of backlash because, you know, Baron Coleman is literally famous now. And my heart goes out to him, you know, because when you have that many eyes on you, you know, you have somebody else's eyes on you also. So shout out to Baron Coleman. I hope nothing happens to his channel. I hope nothing happens to him. I hope he's able to, you know, continue to flourish or whatever. But it scared me a little bit just watching what he said and watching what he was saying, like right at the end, because he kind of like slowed down a little bit. And he said, you know, YouTube is messing with him. He got dinged a couple times. And I'm like, he didn't even say nothing. Like a lot of us, we go a little crazier than Baron Coleman, but he's like strictly to the books and he's a lawyer. So he knows exactly what to say. So I'm like, wow. So shout out to Baron Coleman. He may be going through something, may not be going through something, but I'm just going by his body language. So shout out to him. So let's keep going.
Motives or anything like the proper response is just to provide an answer. That's the.
And this is kind of like what he's saying right here. He's like, don't flag my channel. Just listen to the information and stop messing with me. That's kind of like what he's saying right here. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. And to the new people, drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at to the new people.
The answer. That's the proper response. I'm not making a conclusion about who was where and when. What I'm doing is showing you what the documents suggest, who was where and when, and what their habits were when they were there. So with that, I want to show you. I want to show you real quickly. Let me make sure I got this in the right order. I want to show you some emails that were in the Einstein files.
And he says Einstein on purpose, so understandably.
If you can believe it or not. Where are the reviews? Oh, there they are. Okay, we're in order.
This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions.
Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
Department has a whole section of their website dedicated to these files with a search engine. That's the Jeffrey we're talking about.
Jeffrey.
But here is an email from March of 2017. 2017 March. Those are both very key. Jeffrey plans to go to Paris early Tuesday, March 28th, for at least 4 days.
4 days. 4 days.
We scroll down and we see that Jeffrey has now changed his plans. He no longer plans to go on Tuesday, March 28th. He's now going to leave on Thursday, March 30th. Well, if we do 4 days, March 30th is March 30, March 31, April 1, April 2. So he was there.
So now we have dates. April 1st, April 2nd, and March 30th. What's up, Valerie?
Partially in March and partially in April. That's going to be key in a second. Because we're going to look real quickly at a couple of reviews Erika Kirk gave of Paris. Remember, this is where Jeffrey's going. He's going to Paris for at least 4 days, starting Thursday, March 30th. So March and April. Here is a review Erika gave of the Eiffel Tower in March 2017. So we know, at least according to this, I can't put her there. I don't have, the evidence I have that she was there comes from her review of Paris. Her review was posted in May, but if you look at the highlighted portion, it was alleged to have occurred in March. And now we have a date of stay in April. This is a review on the Ritz Paris. And it says it's phenomenal for tea. Our main purpose for going was to have tea and a light lunch. April 2017, traveled as a couple. So we know Jeffrey was there in March and April of 2017. He was there at least 4 days. According to this, he was going to be there at least 4 days. We know he left on March 30th. So that's 30, 31, April 1, April 2. And we know Erika was there the same time period, at least in the same city.
And at the same hotel, because we talked about that earlier already. At the same hotel. So the same date. So just imagine. For anybody who's just like, nah, that's crazy. Erika Frantzve, who allegedly worked back then for a modeling agency named Next Model Management. That's the first thing. She and Next Model Management is allegedly ran by Epstein's brother. All right. So she works for Next Model Management. Next Model Management is ran by Epstein's brother and co-founder Faith Cates. And she just randomly shows up in Paris having tea at the same hotel Epstein is at. And she stays at a hotel for 4 days, just like Epstein is. and Epstein is there at the same exact date. And the dates are factual, the dates, because one is in the Epstein files, and two, Erika Kirk documents them. Because you know how women love to go somewhere and they like to take pictures and document everything they're doing. So I don't have proof that they know each other. They may just randomly be in Paris at the same hotel at the same time, having tea at the same time, the same dates, everything. It may just be, hey, happenstance, right? But the dates are a fact. The dates are a fact because they come from her and they come from the Epstein files. So let me back it up just a little bit. So here we go.
Starting Thursday, March 30th. So March and April. Here is a review Erika gave of the Eiffel Tower in March 2017. So we know, at least according to this, I can't put her there. I don't have, the evidence I have that she was there comes from her review of Paris.
Her review.
Her review was posted in May, but if you look at the highlighted portion, it was alleged to have occurred in March. And now we have a date of stay in April. This is a review on the Ritz, Paris. And it says it's phenomenal for tea. Our main purpose for going was to have tea and a light lunch. April 2017, traveled as a couple. Traveled as a couple.
Travel as a couple. I wonder who the other person is. Traveled as a couple. Interesting.
So we know Jeffrey was there in March and April of 2017. He was there at least 4 days. According to this, he was going to be there at least 4 days. We know he left on March 30th, so that's 30, 31, April 1, April 2. And we know Erika was there the same time period, at least in the same city. Paris in March and April of 2017. So they're there together.
So, Erika, you can't sue me because this is your stuff, all right? You can't send a cease and desist on your own stuff, and it's public record.
But let's look carefully at this review because this review becomes very important. I thought it was strange when we first came across it. Because of all the things to do in Paris, you got to see the
everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. What? Everybody hit the like button.
Do in Paris, I thought it was weird that someone in her mid-20s was having tea at the Ritz. And that's the only reason they were at the Ritz was to have tea. They weren't staying at the Ritz. They were there to have tea. And they traveled as a couple. I thought that's a weird couple thing, to be honest with you. And so it's stuck in my
people have tea in Paris.
Stuck in the back of my head.
People have tea in
So
Paris.
Then you look at, well, what does Jeffrey like to do in Paris? Well, we've got lots of examples. Here's an example from a couple of months later where he's in Paris and he wants to meet somebody at the Ritz at 3 o'clock. And here's an example of the same month where he wants to have tea time at the Ritz.
There we go.
I've never heard of anyone on earth having tea time at the Ritz.
There we go.
This was, do you eat out? Would you like to have lunch tomorrow or a tea? How about tea time at the Ritz, Jeffrey says. And they're in Paris, just in case you didn't know. I'm in Paris till Wednesday. So they're at there. Now, here's a different time. That was in 2017. Here's go all the way back to 2014. So we're establishing a pattern now, a pattern in practice of what does Jeffrey like to do when he's in Paris? Well, one of the things he does is go to the Ritz and have tea. Here's one in 2014. Can you come to the Ritz around 5 p.m. and we will have tea? That's former Prime Minister Ehud Barak, by the way. And then you scroll down a little more. And this is Jeffrey talking to someone. Would you come alone at 8 to the Ritz? You don't have to bring anyone. I'll see you there at 8. This is an interesting email because it kind of shows a little bit about the types of things he does in Paris while he's having tea time at the Ritz. I wasn't feeling good, this correspondent says, that's typing back and forth with Jeffrey. I wasn't feeling good because I don't like what you're asking from me. I will try to find a way we're both happy. Jeffrey says, so let's forget it. Forget what? And then the correspondent says, you still want me to get you girls, don't you?
Oh, there he goes.
So Jeffrey likes to go to Paris to get girls, and he
There
likes
you go.
to meet people
Tea.
at the Ritz for tea.
And Erika, is possibly, presumably, allegedly, the liaison that he connects with or was connecting with or may connect with every now and then in order to facilitate that for Epstein. Maybe. Allegedly. Don't sue me.
That T.
Somebody said, is T code for something? Is T code for something? I don't think so. I think they're having tea and they're in Paris at the Ritz having tea and they're talking about the business. You know, you talk business and have lunch or whatever. I don't even think it's cold. Thank you for the super chat. Coley vibes. I appreciate you. So no, I think tea is tea, and they're just simply having a meeting at the Ritz, and they're just talking about business. What the business is, and who the two people are talking business with is the question, not whether it's a code. And it could be. You could be right.
And he's now at the Ritz. This is multiple occasions. He's having tea time at the Ritz over many different years. So that is
T is for tadpoles. That's hilarious.
Kind of satisfies me on one of the things, because I thought, what a weird review Erika wrote about having tea time at the Ritz. That's not something most people in their mid-20s do when they're on vacation. That sounds like something.
All right, so now y'all are sparking my interest. I mean, we know they use food as code words. So hold on, let's see. If pizza is, hold on, I'm gonna mute because I don't want no problems off of YouTube. So I'm gonna mute for a second. Let's see. Let's see. Based on Pizzagate conspiracy theory, which alleges that certain words are in leaked emails and they were used for different code names, other alleged related code words within the conspiracy include cheese, pasta, hot dog, and map. Oops. I don't see T in it. I don't see T in it. Not saying it's not, but I don't see T. T didn't come up. But thank y'all for the thought process. I like that.
Something old people do. And if you look at the Ritz, I mean, I would say I understand why Erika wouldn't have stayed there, because it starts at like $3,000 a night. It's a very expensive hotel in Paris. And she didn't review it for staying there. She reviewed it for tea time at the Ritz. And now we know one of Jeffrey's things he likes to do is meet people at the Ritz for tea time. That's what he likes to do when he travels to Paris. Across multiple years, like 5 different years, he's having tea with people in Paris. But we do know where she did stay in Paris. She stayed at the Hotel Plaza Athénée. It's an interesting hotel. Never have enough amazing things to say about this hotel. Rooms were pristine and extremely clean. Staff was amazing, very attentive. Our room had an incredible balcony. Concierge was extremely helpful when it came to making reservations. The Athénée is the place to stay in Paris. Well, I'd say so because it also starts at about $3,000 a night.
T for a teenager is crazy.
Again, she was in her late 20s. That's a very expensive vacation, even if you're only there for one night. That's like roughly the amount the average American makes in a month.
And allegedly, Erika was there for 4 nights.
Before taxes. Staying at the Hotel Plaza Athénée. And it appears she was there for multiple nights because she was doing reviews in March and doing reviews in April. So,
and let me add something to this just to make sure y'all are on track with everything. Check this out.
The other day, Erika Kirk's New York City real estate.
Okay. So remember Erika Kirk. I'll just play it. I'll just play it. She'll explain everything. This is the Manhattan madam, and she was a madam for a certain amount of years. She actually went to prison for what she did, just being a madam. She didn't do anything heinous, but she's kind of like in the world. So listen to her.
I was watching Candace Owens the other day, trying to make sense of Erika Kirk's New York City real estate career, wondering how Erika was put in charge of a group of Romanian models when she has no prior real estate experience. I
Right.
used to be a madam. I ran a high-end escort agency in Manhattan. I'm just the right person to add some perspective on this. Back in the day, I employed hundreds of signed models. In fact, many of them were from Eastern European countries. I normally worked with women who were in their mid-20s, so by the time most of these women had reached the interview with me, they were already considered old by modeling standards. In most of the interviews, these women told me stories of being picked up from their home country, recruited in their teens, being groomed, being brought to New York, put in small apartments, given limited money, and
So let's break that down real quick. The timeline. Somebody like Erika Frantzve and her mom, not them, but somebody like them, because I don't want to get sued. They're in Romania, right? And they have this Romanian orphanage, right? And all of a sudden they have this school full of orphans. And say they have somewhere like 72 orphans. That's a random number, 72. And they're working with the military in order to give the orphans Christmas gifts for whatever reasons, which makes no sense, right? And then they go from raising, keyword, raising the orphans, because, you know, when you're a certain age, you can't really do certain things. So you raise the orphans, you indoctrinate the orphans, you utilize the military men that were coming to visit the orphans in order to, I would say, put them in a position where mentally and physically they're used to something happening, right? They're used to something because of the military men that come visit the orphans, if you understand what I'm saying. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. So next thing you know, the orphans grow up with a certain understanding of what life is for them, because this is just their lives, right? So next thing you know, this is who they think they're supposed to be. They think they're supposed to do this, whatever this is, with this person, and this is what they are supposed to do in life because they are raised in that type of world, right? So by the time they turn, I don't know, a certain age, they then now travel from the pretty ones, of course, from Romania to America and to New York, right? So there is somewhat of a connection from an orphanage. You know, when you're 5, when you're 7, when you're 9, you get put in a position where your belief system changes through religion and through physical interactions, you know, just, you know, I don't want to say certain things. And then when you're ready, you're flown out to New York to do this.
back in the day, I employed hundreds of signed models. In fact, many of them were from Eastern European countries. I normally worked with women who were in their mid-20s, so by the time most of these women had reached the interview with me, they were already considered old by modeling standards.
Mid-20s is old in modeling standards. So we're looking at the orphans that are like 7, 10 years old. You know, they over there. And then they come to America as models as, I don't know, whatever age, because I don't want to say a certain age, right? And then after they age out of the model world, they go see women like the Manhattan model, and she now brings them into full-blown P-wording.
In most of the interviews, these women told me stories of being picked up from their home country, recruited in their teens, being groomed, being brought to New York, put in small apartments, given limited money, and then being forced to go on potential fashion jobs, potential bookings, go-sees, whatever they're called. They would get to some of these, and some of the expectation was that they do schmexual favors, that they had to sleep with people in order to get booked. Now, a lot of times they did these things and they still didn't get booked.
So stop right there. To think this is normal, it has to be normal in Romania. See, it's a normalization. Sex is normalized, or your body being traded for something is normalized. So in Romania, that's kind of like where the training possibly happens at. And then after a certain amount of normalization, training, belief system work through religion, possibly, you know, Erika Kirk is very religious, right? The Lord said, do this. Charlie Kirk, you know, all this stuff, right? And then once they're in this new environment in America, one, they're probably happy to be in America. And two, they have a belief system that I am expected to do these things for money. All right.
By the time they were interviewing with me many years later, they would tell me all of these stories. They actually would say to me, we want to make money off of this because we're already used to this world. We've been exploited for a decade. Now we want to take our power back. I know that sounds weird, but many of the...
See, I want to take my power back. I've been doing this for free for 10 years. From age this to now age this. I don't want to say the ages. I've been doing this for free. Now I want to get paid for it.
Thought of working for me as taking their power back from an industry that had robbed them of their childhood and all of their power. I understood this is what fashion is about. Now, I would think someone like Erika Kirk, who has risen to the title of Miss Arizona, who has years and years of fashion experience, that she understood this too, because there is no possible way that a man didn't approach you asking you to get the girls to do him some kind of favor. That is 100% the norm in that world. In fact, it is even the norm in politics, because I've been working in politics now for 16 years. When I first started, many men asked me if I still had girls. Many men, the hosts of TV networks, political advisors, candidates, elected officials would ask me, do you still have girls? Can you send some to my house? Can you do a party for me? Can you put some at my event? That was the norm. Even though I left that world behind, that was still the request. Maybe that's just how men are. Maybe that's just how men with power are. But I think Erika Kirk would know this, since she's been running in powerful circles and trying to clout chase, I don't know, for decades.
Don't let anyone
So just giving y'all an understanding of how the pattern looks. Want to give y'all this. No, let's just keep going. I got so much. Let's see. I got so much.
Here she was there for multiple nights. It's a beautiful hotel, by the way.
All right, so we're back at the hotel in Paris.
Nicely done in the Hotel Athénée. Well, where does Jeffrey like to stay when he goes to Paris? Anybody want to take a guess? Anybody want to know where Jeffrey stays when he goes to Paris? I'll give you a hint. It's the Hotel Athénée. That's exactly right. He also likes to meet people there anywhere you want. Plaza Athénée at 215. That is the hotel there. We scroll down a little bit. Depends on meeting at 14th at Plaza Athénée with so-and-so. Redacted.
Thank you for the super chat.
out, meaning
Thank
I
you
am at
so
the
much, Sharon, for the $200 Cash App. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Shout out to Sharon. Thank you so much. Watching from the clouds. Thank you. I appreciate you. That deserves another one.
Thank you for the super chat, super chat, super chat. Thank you for the cash app. Cash app, cash app, cash app. Thank you for the cash app.
Again, thank you, Sharon. I appreciate that.
Plaza Athene bar. It can be there in mere moments. This is several years ago. I just woke up. Yes, we can meet. Why don't you meet me in front of the Hotel Plaza Athene at 3:30?
Thank you, Christine, for becoming a new member.
This is someone who's very angry or uses a lot of exclamation points anyway. Someone asking, Jeffrey, where are you? I was going to walk to the Plaza Athene. Are you nearby the apartment or would you like to meet there? So that is a known meeting spot. This is from someone named William. Dear so-and-so, can you see if Jeffrey is available for more furniture visiting on Wednesday afternoon?
Furniture visiting. Remember, we talked about furniture and art.
Or Thursday anytime. I just ran into him at the Plaza Athene bar. Again.
Now, another thing I want to share with you all that gave me an understanding of what's going on is this right here.
In Michigan, Erika struck up what I view as a very odd relationship with the 15-year-old girl named Jillian.
So I can help.
Now, Jillian was a tadpole, and there was a lot of talk because this went viral, talking about how Erika Kirk, for whatever reason, was flirting with this tadpole. But I was like, she's gay? She's into women? No, she was flirting in order to get a certain comfort level there where she can send the girl to a modeling agency, because this is possibly what or how she operates in order to recruit new tadpoles. So listen, this is about recruitment, in my opinion.
I'll clarify. I can build on that. Like I said, I spoke with Jillian, and that information, part of that information is very accurate. And somehow, and Jillian does not recall how this transpired, somehow.
Accurate, Erika Kirk. Accurate.
During this rent arrangement, Erika and her exchange numbers. Okay. So what happens next is they begin messaging each other, a texting relationship to reinforce the fact that this girl, Jillian, is 15 years old and Erika is 25. It's worth mentioning that Erika is also working with sex trafficking charities. This is that year where she says that she got involved with a sex trafficking charity over in China. I'll have more for you.
See, remember we talked about Romania. Now she's in freaking China doing the same thing. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? You're in Romania doing a charity, and then you leave Romania doing a charity, and then to go to China doing a charity? Why don't you just do this in America? Because your ass to go to prison doing all that mess in America. That's why.
You on that next week, but
The morning of March 26, 2014, Jillian tweeted, I just want to be somebody's woman crush Wednesday. Is that too much to ask? That evening, she then tweets, thank you at Erika Frantzve for making my whole week. And she shares this photo, and the photo is of a gnome, and it says, I want to be inside your lady garden. Gnome saying. A few days later, on April 5th, 2014, Jillian posted this tweet. Getting this.
So y'all already heard about that. Let me fast forward a little bit right here.
Your skin, you're absolutely beautiful. Jillian
So now she's hitting her with your skin, your face. You're so beautiful. You might want to become a model in the future, right? This is how she allegedly, possibly, I don't know, but it sounds to me that these words are recruitment words.
responds with the crying emoji, you're making me cry.
that she wants a 15-year-old to feel sexy. This particular 15-year-old at this time, what we know based off of Jillian's tweets is that she doesn't have a father in her life. Okay. She tweeted this in June of 2014. I haven't seen my dad over 2 years. The reason why I want to point that out is because Charlie Kirk and I did a lot on the road discussing father absence and how these teenagers and children are instantly more vulnerable to tons of things, getting involved in the wrong networks, criminal activity. You need a father in the home. So I just find it interesting that it's a good fact to know about this girl at this time. Maybe her father's in her life since, I don't know. So what exactly was her stated goal? Well, I can at least tell you
here we go.
What that last weird text exchange was about, the one where Erika tells her not to drink and to suck her stomach in tonight, wherever they're going tonight. People assumed that they had gone somewhere together, but no, that exchange is actually in reference to Erika then having sent this 15-year-old to have photos taken. She sent this 15-year-old to have photos taken. She's helping her because she's just so beautiful, get into maybe some modeling. That's at least how she presented it to her. So after telling her how beautiful and perfect her lips were, she then sets her up with a photographer, a friend of Erika's. Erika, she says, arranged the entire thing. Then after what maybe love bombing her, you describe it, then sends her to meet up with this male photographer. And Jillian said that this photographer was kind of creepy.
So another part of the pattern, she's acting or operating as a recruiter for tadpoles. So just showing y'all the pattern. So let's go back to Baron Coleman and hanging out with Epstein, allegedly in Paris.
Times over several years, he hangs out at the Plaza Athénée many times over several years. This is a fixture for him. Also happens to be only like the 2 places she reviewed that are in hotels.
All right, so let's go a little farther because it gets deeper.
Eliza McCoy came out and said, I can explain this. I was the one buying the suits.
All right, we talked about the I don't want to talk about that part.
This looks bad. So I would expect in the next couple of days, TPUSA to come out and say, I can explain it. I've never met the man. In fact, I would encourage her to do that. I would encourage Erika to say she'd never met him. She'd never interacted with him, never ran in the same circles. To the extent their friend groups overlapped, it was unknown to her. I think that would be a very smart thing for her to say. I'm not calling on her to say it. I'm not demanding she say it. I'm not asking for anything from them. But I think it would be smart because this is the type of fact pattern that gets out of control. This is the type of fact pattern that grows. This is the type of fact pattern that keeps people digging into the past, keeps people questioning. And to the extent it goes unaddressed, this is the type of fact pattern that creates real problems for her ability to effectively lead TPUSA. Because it doesn't matter where it was. Just know it's either a work-related account. My joke, that's Charlie's. And a text message with Candace. But it's...
All right, we're moving forward.
It's unmistakable when you see her name and an email address. So we have redacted these, lest anyone at YouTube get upset. We've redacted these. We've made it so that nobody can complain. But I want to show you these email addresses for Miss Frantzve. Because it's a lead us, because when I saw this, I wasn't sure what to make of it. Here are a list of emails from this document. There's Erika.Frantzve at whatever, and we've redacted it because it doesn't matter where it was. Just know it's either a work-related account or Gmail or something like that. Erika at whatever, Frantzve at whatever. And then one is we don't believe it's associated with her at all. It was a completely different name. I have no idea how it ends up in a report like that. Actually, I don't know that there was a Gmail. I think it was a Yahoo maybe or a Hotmail or something. But anyway, all of them are unmistakably her because look at the name. It's like hard to reconcile that that's not her. And then I saw this one at the bottom that says Windhaven Group.
Uh-oh.
It's her. I'm telling you guys, if I unredacted that, you would know definitively it's her. I don't want to unredact it because it's possible it's still a live email account. And I don't want to cause her spam or trouble or anything like that. But I'm telling you, I'm vouching for the fact that that is her name in here in some capacity. Maybe a name and a number, but it's her. And I thought Windhaven Group, the hell is Windhaven Group?
All right, so everybody drop popcorn emojis in the chat. Drop popcorn emojis in the chat. Now we're about to go down a different rabbit hole. This Windhaven Group, you won't believe who it's connected to. Quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. This is about to get crazy.
This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions.
Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
All right, here we go. This is about to get crazy.
I never even heard of Windhaven Group.
Windhaven Group.
So I had to go looking for Windhaven Group. I had to go looking for Windhaven Group. I'll come back to that one. And I found where our friend Candace had actually talked about the Windhaven Group before. Here is what our friend had to say, and it will kind of set up a springboard for the rest of the investigation. So listen to what she says here.
Rothstein family. Now, you will remember Erika at this time was living with Nicole Rothstein, and it is a fact that Nicole Rothstein did work in real estate, not at the Corcoran Group, but she has a long career in real estate. She went to school for real estate, and she currently runs her own real estate company. And her father, Alan Rothstein, Erika is extremely close with him. She calls him uncle. He was the chairman, might still be the chairman of Windhaven Real Estate. And
Right there. So let me add another connection to the Rothstein family right here.
Erika Kirk, his widowed wife, has risen to become the CEO of Turning Point USA, which is one of the most powerful political groups in the United States.
Shout out to James Lee.
Her past, the modeling, the reality shows, the dating, despite claims to the contrary. But there's something we overlooked last time. The roommate who she mentioned.
What I'll say is when I lived out here, I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was.
So who was this roommate? Well, it turns out her roommate is not just some random person. It is actually a family member who is going to unlock for us an entire family tree that upends her well-curated image and potentially expose her connection to a complex network of financial fraud, casino gambling, and foreign influence, allegedly. And before we dive in, I just want to say that everything I'm about to tell you is verifiable. It's in the public domain. You can look it up for yourself. None of it is speculation. This is Erika.
Everybody drop popcorn emojis in the chat. Drop popcorn emojis in the chat. Drop popcorn emojis in the chat. Drop popcorn emojis in the chat.
Kirk, then Frantzve, with her roommate at the time, Nicole Rothstein.
Merry Thanksgiving to
So that's the Rothstein last name that is connected to this company. Remember, Rothstein.
you. Merry Thanksgiving to you. Merry Thanksgiving to you.
And Nicole Rothstein, as it turns out, is her cousin. How do we know that? Well, she responded to this clip featuring Erika Kirk talking about her Shabbat Shaloming. And she responded by saying, quote, as her cousin, who is fully Jewish, half of her family is Jewish. While she herself is a Christian, she has celebrated many Jewish holidays with our side of the family and highly respects the Jewish religion. You can see the name and handle, Nicole Rothstein. Now, I'm glad I archived that because if you go and look for that Nicole Rothstein account right now, I'm pretty sure it's no longer there. Now, Nicole Rothstein's father is a guy named Alan Rothstein, who you could see in this Instagram post is sitting next to her. And Erika Kirk writes, there's something powerful about God's strategic planning when it comes to the people he has surrounding you. How blessed I am to have individuals like Uncle Alan in my life that are filled with spirit. Now, this is where things start to get pretty interesting because the next logical question would be, who is this Alan? Uncle of hers, Alan Rothstein? Well, I was able to find this SEC document that lists one Alan P. Rothstein, and I've confirmed that this is the same person. And here it describes him as a member of the board of directors of this company called Innumerable, which will come up later. So remember that name. He's also owned another company called Shazoom LLC. Remember that as well, a business funding company. And from 2002 through 2007, Mr. Rothstein was the co-founder and chairman of a company called Nano Dynamics Incorporated. Now, it sounds all pretty impressive, but as it turns out, with a little bit more digging, Mr. Alan Rothstein, Erika's uncle, may have been quite the sketchy guy. For Nanodynamics, it looks like he was sued in bankruptcy court. And from what I'm told, in bankruptcy terms, when a trustee sues a director or a founder like Alan Rothstein, it is believed typically that person may have taken money out of the company improperly before it collapsed. And then remember the company Innumeral, which he served on the board of directors. That was apparently a penny stock that traded on the OTC markets before also going bankrupt. And then there's this company, Shazoom LLC, which if you remember is a business funding company. And
all right, so y'all get the understanding. Alan Rothstein is adjacently connected to the mafia, to the Jewish mafia. So I didn't want to go too far down that rabbit hole, but he is connected adjacently to the Jewish mafia. So let's keep going on this.
And yeah, like I said, this is what she wrote about him.
So this is the company.
Our friend Candace had actually talked about the Windhaven Group before.
Windhaven Group.
Here is what our friend had to say, and it will kind of set up a springboard for the rest of the investigation. So listen to what she says here.
Rothstein family. And you will remember Erika at this time was living with Nicole Rothstein, and it is a fact that Nicole Rothstein did work in real estate, not at the Corcoran Group, but she has a long career in real estate. She went to school for real estate, and she currently runs her own real estate company. And her father, Alan Rothstein, Erika is extremely close with him. She calls him uncle. He was the chairman, might still be the chairman of Windhaven Real Estate. And yeah, like I said, this is what she wrote about him in on Instagram in 2017. This post reads, "There's something powerful about God's strategic planning when it comes to the people that he has surrounded you. How blessed am I to have individuals like you, Uncle Alan, in my life that are filled with spirit. Constantly seeing life in bloom, I have watched you face adversity and triumph, and in doing so, pass a gift of courage and a message of understanding to those around you that if you live boldly and fearlessly, the impossible is possible. I love you." Okay, she loves her Uncle Alan. Now,
Loves Uncle Alan. But I don't know if you caught it. She mentioned Windhaven Group. He was the chairman of Windhaven Group. Well, I thought that was an interesting thing. I'd never heard of it. And so we went looking for Windhaven Group. I noticed, because Candace said her cousin or friend or whatever she is, Nicole had worked at the Windhaven Group, I thought, let's go see if we can find that. And we did. Here is Nicole's work history. This is dated. This is several years ago. I think it ends in 2020.
All right, this is when it gets really crazy.
But Windhaven Group for almost 8 years, rising from real estate.
So when you look at Erika Kirk and her affiliation with real estate, and of course, she never sold a house in her life, it's because of her adjacent relationship with this fake cousin, Nicole Rothstein. She was the one that is in real estate.
Development intern to project development coordinator to project and operations manager to director of asset management, all at the Windhaven Group. That's Nicole Rothstein. That's Alan's daughter, Uncle Alan. Interesting. Well, is there any tie for Erika working there? And what is the Windhaven Group while we're on it? Let's look real quickly, because I found out who ran it. It took me a while to track it down. Turns out it's run by a guy named Johnny Winston. Johnny Winston is the CEO at Windhaven Group. I'd never heard of Johnny Winston. He doesn't have very much on his LinkedIn. Just CEO Windhaven Group. So I thought that's weird. You know, if you're going to get on LinkedIn, you might as well put something else on there. Why would you just put one thing on there?
Thank you, Tommy, for the $20 super chat. Cash App. Thank you. Cash App is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. It is $AARON 1000. Thank you, Tommy, for the Cash App.
But he is the CEO of Windhaven Group. Well, then I thought, well, let me see if I can find anything about this guy. Who is Johnny Winston? At the Windhaven Group. Remember, I'm only interested in it because Erika has a Windhaven Group email address, and she's never bragged about working there. We know she worked at the Corcoran Group. We know she was into real estate.
So keep in mind, all of this came from an email address that Erika Kirk has with the Windhaven Group.
This is her cousin or friend or nephew or niece or whatever she is worked there. Why wouldn't she say she worked there? I don't know. Well, let's look real quickly at who Johnny Winston is. Here is
an article from the New York Daily News. Mogul accused of bilking mother-in-law of $10 million. A Manhattan real estate developer who once boasted he was going to be bigger than Donald Trump is being sued by his mother-in-law on charges he defrauded her of $10 million. Annette Lorber claims her son-in-law, Jonathan Winston, turned out to be a greedy scoundrel who capitalized on her grief when her husband died to line his own pockets. She claims he realized his dreams to mimic the Donald by abusing his position as her money guru to fraudulently borrow and outright steal from her. Lorber says she trusted Winston to handle her finances when her husband, Martin, a shoe mogul, died of cancer in 2000.
Now, listen to this with understanding, because he's going to kind of like go out in the weeds on this, but just stay with me. Stay with me. Listen to this and stay with me.
3, never thinking he would rob her blind. He used the gains to amass investment properties from West Hampton to Manhattan. Remember, our friend Erika stayed in a property in Hampton the summer she was on Summer House. I don't know if it was the same house or not. Could have been, could have not been. Even bought a 75-foot yacht. Listen to this, though. Listen to how he got her trust. This is the most scoundrel thing I've ever heard in my life. After marrying Lorber's daughter Eve in 2000, Winston insisted on accompanying his mother-in-law on a pilgrimage to our greatest ally. In a heroic display of affection, he climbed with her to the top of Masada and professed they were now bonded to one another, that he would eternally love her as if she were his own mother, the suit charges. In fact, following the trip, he began affectionately calling Lorber Mom, began to uncover the full extent of the fraud.
This is a fraudulent situation. So he's frauding this woman, and because like I said, he goes a little in the weeds a little bit, but stay with me.
When her daughter contemplated divorcing Winston last year, she learned he'd forced her daughter's name on numerous documents in connection with Windhaven dealings, and then said, I'm not allowed to make any comment. Guys, that's low down and dirty. I can't even begin to contemplate. You prey on the woman's religion. You climb to some, I don't know, I've never heard the mountain, but apparently it's an important mountain over in our greatest allies' territory over there. And he climbs to the top and says, now we're bonded together for life. Give me $10 million. That's crazy. Holy mackerel. So that's who we're dealing with. That's the CEO of Windhaven Group. That was the CEO of Windhaven Group. Now, you might think that's probably the scummiest thing this guy's ever done.
So the correlation is the CEO of Windhaven Group. And the person that was working for Windhaven Group is Erika Frantzve, along with Nicole Rothstein. And so putting all together. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all are keeping up. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all are keeping up, because I don't want to miss. I don't want anybody to be like, wait, what? Who? What?
Surely. No one does anything worse than that. I mean, maybe. Because here we have a New York Times article. Officials say stock scheme raised money for the mob. Investigators who charged 20 people in
Remember, I talked about the mafia, right? That's the reason why I played the Jason Lee video, because Rothsteins are connected to the mafia, the Jewish mafia.
Together for life. Give me $10 million. That's crazy. Holy mackerel. So that's who we're dealing with. That's the CEO of Windhaven Group. That was the CEO of Windhaven Group. Now, you might think that's probably the scummiest thing this guy's ever done. Surely. No one does anything worse than that. I mean, maybe. Because here we have a New York Times article. Officials say stock scheme raised money for the mob. Investigators who charged 20 people in stock fraud scheme yesterday outlined a plot straight out of Hollywood, alleging the 20 had worked with the Gambino crime family to bilk thousands of investors out of more than $50 million, fraudulently selling stocks at inflated prices and threatening anyone who wanted out. 2 of the principals, Hunter Adams of Atlantic Beach, New York, Michael Ryder, Merrick, New York, are known Gambino associates who actually manage the brokerage houses. The other major participants, not minor players here, major participants in a scheme that is alleged to be with the Gambino family, an alleged scheme allegedly with the Gambino family. The other major participants are Greg Adams, Jason Cohen, Robert Mangiarano, and Jonathan Winston. There's our friend Jonathan Winston.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. It takes a second, but there's the correlation. The Colombo crime family and the Gambino crime family are 2 of the biggest crime families like in history. So, and all of this is adjacently connected to not only Erika Kirk, but Epstein.
I'm assuming it's the same one. Lives in the same place. That's crazy. A $50 million stock fraud scheme with the Gambino crime family. Well, surely, knowing all of this, no one would ever want to have anything to do with this guy. Well, no, this was back in 2001. Like, this was known. All right, well, let's see what else we have here. Who is working at Windhaven? Well, funny you should ask, Alan. It's Uncle Alan. He's the chairman of Windhaven RE. Uncle Alan Rothstein. That's our friend Alan.
Uncle Alan. Uncle Alan
Rothstein right there, the chairman of Windhaven RE. Remember, this is the same Windhaven where Erika has a Windhaven Group email address. I'm starting to put together, perhaps, a plausible explanation of why she never mentions this part of her past. That's adorable, lovable Uncle Alan. And we go back, just to remind you, this was on Candace's show here. But I'll show you the screenshot again, unless you missed it. This is Erika with lovable Uncle Alan, the chairman of the Windhaven Group, led by Johnny Winston, of allegedly Gambino crime family fame, allegedly of bilking his mother-in-law out of $10 million fame. I can't say that for a fact those things happened. I've not investigated those fully, but the allegations were certainly made the New York papers. I'll say that. He made the New York papers. That's Uncle Alan, the one she loves so much. That's where he works, allegedly. Now, let's go back real quickly because there's an address. We've blacked out as much as we can here, and she doesn't live there anymore, by the way. So it's not like I'm giving away information. You can't harass her here because she doesn't live there. Someone else lives there. She hadn't lived there in almost a decade. But we blacked out some of the information anyway, just in case somebody thought it was a little too close to home. But this is some information we got on this document I received, and this is an apartment at 640 Broadway. Remember where we asked, like, how was she living in New York? It's so expensive during this time. She didn't have...
And she never had a job. So listen to this right here.
Have a real estate license. She didn't have a...
She didn't have a real estate license, but she worked for a real estate company. Make that make sense. It wasn't about real estate. It was about recruitment.
Charity that was producing any real income. The proclaimed streetwear was not yet organized. It wasn't yet operational. Like, what was she doing for money? New York is not a cheap place to live. I'll submit to you that this apartment is on the market when it goes on the market for over $10,000 a month. It's a very expensive place to live. And so you start digging to see who owns this apartment that she supposedly lived in. Well, here's what we find. You'll never guess who owned the apartment. According to Bob Neckall, chairman of the brokerage company.
Uncle Alan owns the apartment that Erika Kirk was living in.
Company Massey Knockall, who handled the sale with colleague James Nelson. The roughly 63,000 square foot Soho building. This is the building that's 640 Broadway we were just looking at. Purchased by a first-time Manhattan buyer in partnership with an institutional investor. Mr. Knockall, prolific broker of the commercial and multifamily buildings in the city, said he could not disclose the identity of the joint venture because they were his clients and had asked him to remain anonymous. But that's that 640 Broadway. That's the building where we were able to find an address where Erika may have lived at the time. So we dig a little deeper because if someone owns the building, we need to know. Now, it's interesting to know this building is on the corner of Crosby Street and Broadway. It has two addresses, strangely. And if you go to the New York Public Records, you'll find it's an AKA address situation. It'll say 640 Broadway, AKA 172 Crosby Street. Or it'll say 172 Crosby Street, AKA 640 Broadway. So if you see a story, you have to look for both addresses in order to do a thorough research on who owns this property. But you got to answer the question, like she's living in a very expensive piece of real estate, allegedly. I mean, at least the background report seems to suggest she was. She's living in a very expensive piece of property 10 years ago. There's really nothing on her resume that would suggest she's making any real money. So who owns the building? Like, was somebody letting her live there? Was she, honestly, you look and you're saying, is it related to Jeffrey? I mean, I don't know. We're able to find out. Here is an article after the fact that disclosed who the two buyers were.
All right, y'all ready? This is the ending right here of part one of all of this.
This building. The building at 640 Broadway, also known as 172 Crosby Street, has served as a Tony rental residence for a few years. Celebrities like Al Pacino and Will Smith have previously been spotted scoping out its $35,000 a month penthouse. Well, how is our 28-year-old Erika living here? If Will Smith and Al Pacino are looking at places in that building, how is she living in that building? Acadia purchased 640 Broadway in a joint venture with Windhaven Group, paying $32.5 million. Uncle Alan's group, Windhaven Group, where Erika has an email address at Windhaven Group. Now it's starting to make sense. Now we get an idea of how it was she was able to live there. Again, assuming all the evidence is correct that we've uncovered.
So, lastly, I want to show you guys this right here to slow everything down just a little bit, just to make sure everybody is on point. Erika Kirk and Jeffrey Epstein meet in Paris in 2017. So it appears that Erika Kirk and Jeffrey Epstein frequented the same exact super expensive hotels for the exact same reasons or dates, I would say, in Paris, France, on the exact same days. We're looking at the Ritz, and I forgot the name of the other hotel. So on the show today, Baron Coleman showed screenshots of the Epstein files and reviews that Erika wrote under her maiden name, Erika Frantzve, indicating they were both in Paris at the same time and frequenting the same locations and hotels. Erika is also linked to the same exact real estate company. The same real estate company that, we all know. What happened? Okay, here we go. Okay. Let's go move forward. Okay. Erika was also linked to the same real estate company and modeling agencies that Epstein frequented in Manhattan. It's all coming out, folks. Brace yourselves. Give it a second. So this is, and what I'm doing now is just a synopsis of this entire show. So as you can see, this is Jeffrey Epstein and the Epstein files. Good idea. Can you come to the Ritz around 5 p.m. and we'll have tea or some drinks together. And this is William Esseling. And of course, this is all of Erika Kirk's or Erika Frantzve's information, dates, and her documentation of her trip. Date of experience, March 2017. Our main purpose for going was to have tea and a light lunch, just like in the Epstein files. Phenomenal for tea. The Ritz in general never disappoints. Yet there is nothing like the Paris location. This is a top hotel you must visit if you're not staying here. If you're not staying here, that's a key phrase. If you're not staying here, because she didn't stay at the Ritz, she stayed at the other hotel. But she came over to the Ritz, most likely, in my opinion, to meet Epstein. So think about this. She stayed at the other hotel, but she came over to the Ritz to have tea. And on the same date, Epstein was at the Ritz having tea. Just to make sure y'all get an understanding of all of this. April 2017 and March 2017. So most likely it was the 30th, the 31st, the 1st, and the 2nd. I will never have enough amazing things to say. Okay. That is the same one. Oh, here we go. Why is this showing again? Let's see. Is there any other ones? Okay. So yeah, so that's it. That's it. I just duplicated that by mistake. So this is part 1 of this particular Baron Coleman series. Tomorrow's series, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock tomorrow, I'm going to break down the art exhibit play. And that right there is going to be absolutely crazy. Because, like I said, when you look at how Turning Point USA, how Erika Kirk, how these disgusting people are actually making money or allegedly laundering money. Not saying and Erika Kirk is laundering money. I'm saying people out in the world launder money through art. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Does anybody have any questions or comments y'all want me to answer to all of this because I know this was a lot. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Because I know this was crazy. So drop a question, drop a comment about this, and I'll be able to answer it to the best of my ability. I'm going to play this in the meantime.
Kirk began the Romanian Angels Project in late 2012, early 2013 through to 2015. And obviously you have seen all the TikToks describing the scandal. And
What is Hunter's paintings? What do you mean Hunter's paintings? Can you elaborate on Hunter's paintings? What is that?
Explain that to you just to kind of separate the myth from the facts of this. I'll tell you what the facts are. The facts are that Lori Frantzve established the Everyday Heroes Foundation, which was supposed to help children in need. That was established in Arizona under Erika's mother's name, Lori Frantzve. What they decided to do, as charities do, is that they develop certain projects and certain missions. And what spun out from Lori's charity was the Romanian Angels Project. And they got this deal with the military. They worked with the military in Romania to help orphans, okay? Now, it is a fact that they worked with, at that time, Colonel Otto Buscher. Colonel Otto Buscher was then accused of running a brothel with young children.
So I'll stop right there because I don't want it. I don't want no problems with YouTube. So you get an understanding of what is going on, what has been going on, and we're going farther and farther down the rabbit hole on how they were to accomplish this legally, because nobody has went to jail, nobody has went to prison, and on top of that, for those who don't know, I think a lot of y'all do know, but say yes or no in the chat if you're aware that if Donald Trump did not become president, are you aware that Charlie Kirk was going to go to prison? Yes or no in the chat. Were you aware of that? Were you aware that Charlie Kirk was going to go to prison if Donald Trump did not become president? Are you aware of that? Because if not, I'll talk about that tomorrow also. So y'all were not aware of that? Okay, I thought a lot of y'all were aware of that. Let's see. Going to prison.
So do you think murderers should go to jail? Do I think all murderers should go to jail? I mean, on the is pedophilia wrong? Why do people go to prison? Oh, maybe I really am just Uncle Tom. It is wrong, and I'm sure I think it is.
I'll find it. But yeah, he was actually gonna go to prison on some Diddy type of stuff. No, not Diddy type of stuff, some fraud type of stuff. So yeah, we're gonna do part 2 tomorrow. So, and I want to make sure nobody had any questions or anything. All right, so we are good.
If you had one wish involving us, what would it be?
That we got along better.
Okay.
The day that you told me, like, I was so happy for you, my mindset toward you completely changed. I think after you had her, you realized like how hard it is to be a mom, and like when you look back at things that maybe like made you mad at me, you realize like, okay, well, that is hard.
I just bought this mother-daughter card game because I came to the realization that my issues with my mom are not resolved, so I decided to do something about it. I just played this card game with my mom and we both literally broke down crying. Here's the card game right here. Buy it. Every woman needs this. You won't regret it.
Bless me. Bless me and my mother. Bless me and my mother with one of these decks. And I was asking her the questions while we were heading to the airport, and she was asking questions. And I like that there is something in there that really helps you to identify, how do you feel?
How do you feel?
How do you express this? What word could I use? Or et cetera, et cetera. And I don't want to get too much into it because I really think that you guys should check this out. Even in the half hour that we were asking these questions, it created such deeper discussions. I actually remember there was one question, and it was something along the lines of, did my mom ever experience grief that would have allowed her not to be as attentive? And then we started talking about, and that led to like a really cool conversation. And so it was good. And I like it because we were giggling in the car, like talking about these different stories, stuff around Christmas time. Oh, do you remember this? And it just allowed us to be very nostalgic and really take that road down memory lane. So that was this game is really cool. So I definitely appreciate it, guys. We're going to connect the link below if you're interested in getting the mother-daughter card game. It's literally like therapy in a box. You get to ask all the questions that you may not have even known that you need to ask, or the conversation you didn't know you needed to have. So,
and the coolest part of this particular card game is, in your situation, your mom lives somewhere else. There's a mother deck and there's a daughter deck. So she was able to bring the mother deck home with her, and you kept the daughter deck. So now y'all can play over the phone or online, right? So you can buy this card game, pull out mom's card game, and ship it to her if she lives in another state. All right, so I'll see y'all tomorrow. Make sure to get your mother-daughter card games. We still have supplies. Make sure to get your mother-daughter card game, and talk to y'all tomorrow, or maybe this evening. I might go live again this evening, but I'll talk to y'all later, and y'all have a good rest of y'all day.